Welcome into Cleveland Browns Daily. Nathan Zegura and Jason Gibbs with you here. Happy April 1st. Happy April Fools. And how about, speaking of April Fools, our own, the Chief, David Njoku, earlier today tweeting out that he wanted his agent to seek a trade from the Cleveland Browns. And what happened? I looked at it and I said, come on, Chief. That's what I tweeted right back to him. Did I believe it? Absolutely not. And yet, despite the fact that it was April Fool's Day, Rap Sheet got Ian Rappaport fell for it. You hate to see that. It's April Fool's Day. You got to have your guard up. Everything's got to be the top.
Even, like, the blue check marks have a little April Fool's stuff going on. Like, I don't think it's a day that you want to necessarily be doing anything on Twitter more than just being a viewer rather than a participant.
You've got to be very careful. This is not the day to be in the rush to be the first. Take your time. See how it feels. Does this feel right to you? I don't know. And so Chief, obviously, because it actually got out of control because of Rap Sheet saying that tweeting it as though it was real, he had to go back in 7 minutes. Did this at 9:09. Good morning, all. I've instructed my agent to seek a trade. I want my fans to know first, ... He had to come back not even 7 minutes later and say, April Fools, baby. I've got 2 words for you. I'm staying right here, with a great clip of from Seinfeld, George's dad, Frank. Isn't it Frank? Frank Costanza.
Frank Costanza,
legend. Del Buca Vista. Del Buca Boca. So you got to be careful right now. You've got to be careful. Got to be very careful on April Fool's. So let that be a warning to everybody. Don't believe everything that you read. You've got to be careful. It's April Fool's out there, Gibby. Did anybody try to get you?
No, there was none of that.
None of that.
There was nothing today. It's early in the day, but yeah, I am watching Twitter.
Yeah,
but not acting.
Oh, baby, this Sharpie Twitter has given me a headache. That's a potent one.
It's potent.
Jeez Louise.
Got a good smell. Got a good scent going. Might need a pen.
Yikes. I'm running straight to a pen.
That.
Yeah, I'm getting right to a pen. Gibby, what is not an April Fool's joke is that you guys have, the Ibs boys have an exclusive on the BPA. Jacoby Brissett stopped by. See that's been tweeted out. And, of course, why wouldn't you guys get an exclusive with Jacoby Brissett in the most well-funded and well-sourced program under the Browns umbrella, the BPA? Well, all the attention
you
goes
just keep taking your veiled shots.
I don't think there was – I don't know. People out there, if we were to do a poll, was there anything veiled about that? I don't think so. It's your true love. Just come out and say it.
Just keep taking
You just come
shots,
out and
man.
say it. It's your true love.
Man, I
Which
do
hurts
what
me.
I'm told.
It hurts me. It hurts me. I think that it's a full heel turn by you on CB. Beau is even sending me texts from the Bahamas, just distraught. Apparently, Bootsy's upset about it. I don't know.
I feel like
I don't know how you
Bootsy's
sleep
upset about nothing other than not having enough ice cream or snacks.
Bootsy
right
is just
now. Or if
thriving.
he was able to.
I can't,
was he able to ride the rides?
I have not gotten an answer. I feel like he's saving that for on air. I feel like there must be a great story because I've asked directly twice.
And nothing.
Look, Bootsy certainly in any of the photos that we have seen does not have the look of a man or a young man that has been denied anything that he so desires in the Bahamas. So I would imagine him being told that, no, you can't ride the really cool water slide through the sharks, that I think he might show signs of some disquietude, and we're not seeing any signs of disquietude right now.
No, I'm sure. I think it's their last day. I think they come back tomorrow.
Yeah. We'll be back. He'll be back on Monday for us, which will be a wonderful, wonderful thing.
He'll be angry based on the weather because the weather is not so great.
But it's been spectacular down in the Bahamas. I mean,
yeah.
he's living the dream, as he should.
Yes, good
Love
for
it.
him.
Love
Welcome back to Cleveland. This, it might hit 70 again maybe in the next month.
By the way, a little bit of don't even say that. People are we're going to go golf.
I'm golfing tomorrow.
I'm golfing tomorrow. listen, I love the game. I can't wait to put the ball in the air as much as anybody. I just don't see it happen. Look, if I can get out there for 9 tomorrow, I will. Kid, if you're listening, agent to the stars, let's just do it. Let's get out there. Let's put the ball in the air. Let's see what happens. Let's not worry about anything else. But now we're after April 1st. All scores must be put into the system now, which is nuts because I haven't had a score to play during the period of time where it's not supposed to go in the system, which is fine. But it's because they're all going to be high. Raise that thing right back up. Raise it right back up. That's what I'd like.
Manage expectations, my friend.
Yeah. So the World Cup draws are out. I don't know if you've seen this, Gibbe. This just came down right before we went out. All right.
I believe we've qualified.
We've qualified. Yep. Big one there. And the U.S. goes into Group B along with England.
Oh. Not great there.
No.
Although I think the top two go?
The men in Blazers have said USA versus England 2, electric boogaloo. The greatest tie this is back from the New York Post World Cup shocker. USA wins 1-1. Greatest tie against the British since Bunker Hill is from the article that they clipped there. So this is going to be this is a big one. Twitter is a buzz over this. USA and England in the same World Cup group. Run it back, says Barstool Sports. Friendly reminder, this is Bill Simmons. Friendly reminder, we've been kicking England's butt for 250 years. Oh, baby, there's going to be a lot of heat around this one. A lot of heat around this one. That's going to be fun.
I'll just need that to be on a weekend day so I can just get obliterated.
Get back. Come on.
Oh, no. At World Cup, I have friends. There's tailgating. There's lots of celebrations.
I got
they know who they are.
RSB 972002 says it's Del Boca Vista, not Del Buca Boca. I know, but has he not seen the famous outtakes where he says 100 different things before he can get that line?
Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? I inevitably am going to get a tweet here in the next 5 minutes.
The Germans did not
bomb Pearl Harbor.
In fact,
I'm aware of this.
I know you are.
You're aware of
I'm
this.
quite. Yeah, Animal House, folks. Look it up. There's a great scene. I feel bad for this guy. Obviously a Seinfeld fan. You've never seen that outtake where he just it's got to be on YouTube. He goes through about 32. It's Del Boca Vista Phase 2, not Del Boca. It's all the outtakes. He couldn't get that line out. Jerry Stiller could not get the line. He couldn't say it.
And then everybody couldn't keep a straight face.
And they
so
were dying.
When he did get it, they had to go back.
They had to do it again. Yeah, it's a fantastic one. So be sure, by all means, be sure to go check that out. By the way, it is as CBS Sports, their soccer Twitter handle is noting, the USA has never lost to England in a World Cup. All right, a lot of heat, man. We're really puffing our chests out there in the soccer world.
I don't think we should.
I don't know.
We haven't exactly had a lot of success.
Not a lot of World Cup dominance from the good old US of A of late. So
no,
certainly not on the male side.
Pretty chesty.
Pretty chesty.
Right off the get-go.
Chesty. Speaking of chesty, the defending Super Bowl champions probably feeling a little chesty today. They were able to sign all-pro linebacker Bobby Wagner to a 5-year deal worth up to $50 million and up to $65 million with incentives. Wagner was down to, it sounded like, the Rams and the Baltimore Ravens. And the Ravens, as you saw, Lamar Jackson with some angry emojis. The Ravens obviously were bummed that they did not get their man, but Bobby Wagner goes now, stays in the division.
What salary cap? Salary caps don't exist. They're made to be worked around.
You will have to pay the piper at some point, but you can kick that down the can. Not forever, but you can kick that can down the road to a point. And right now they still feel like they are able to do so.
That's two guys that have stiffed the Ravens. Kind of like it.
I do like that as well.
Yeah.
Listen, it's just a better path in the NFC. That's the bottom line. It's about Vegas just came out. We talked about this, I think, briefly on the show yesterday. Somebody mentioned it on the show. Who do we have on the show? Mike Clay mentioned it. Vegas came out. The win totals in our division, 9.5, 9.5, 9.5. Bengals, Browns, Ravens. All three of them, 9.5, 9.5, 9.5. So our division, let alone the entire conference, very tough. They don't know what's going to happen. But he did not go there. He went instead to the Rams. And here's one that made me happy, but also made me a little sad, Gibbe. Nick Mullens Goes to the Raiders on a 1-year deal.
I thought he was under contract with us.
No, free agent.
I guess not.
Unrestricted free agent, clearly. Goes to the Raiders. I thought he did phenomenal, and he clearly so did the Raiders. Made an impression on the Raiders. Listen, it's one of those things.
Game.
It's one of those things in the NFL. Kendall Lamb, remember our offensive lineman, scores a touchdown against the Titans. The next year, the Titans give him a contract. Nick Mullens, great showing under incredibly difficult circumstances. And he had the one drive where did we take the lead or we tied it before they ended up ultimately winning it. But in the fourth quarter, where he converted 3 third downs and a fourth down, throwing the touchdown on the fourth down in the red zone to make that drive happen. A lot of moxie, tough guy, started a bunch of games in his career in the NFL with the 49ers, one with us, and now he goes to the Raiders, a team that had lost Marcus Mariota this offseason, now the starter down in Atlanta, at least pre-draft starter. So the Raiders now, with all those weapons, here's their quarterback room. Derek Carr, Garrett Gilbert, former Brown, Nick Mullens, former Brown. So that's what's in Vegas right now. So I was bummed to see him go. I really thought Nick Mullens' performance in that game on that Monday night was as impressive a quarterback performance. Folks, he hadn't worked with these guys all year. And remember, we didn't lose our quarterbacks till middle of that week? And that was supposed to be a Saturday game. And it was moved to Monday to try to provide time for the Browns to be able to get extra guys out there. So we're talking about he maybe had a practice because Keenum didn't go out, I want to say, till Thursday that week. We weren't scheduled to practice Friday because the game was Saturday. So he had like a walkthrough that he got to play at quarterback, and then goes out and had a very, very solid game, including that drive that I laid out where he made some big-time throws, and Donovan Peoples-Jones made some big catches to extend that drive before he threw the touchdown at the end. And you're right, that was an electric moment at First Energy Stadium. People went nuts. And then, unfortunately, Carlson, who is just a kicker par excellence, booted one in. Carr got him down the field. He made, a 48-yarder into the dog pound like it was nothing.
Been the Bermuda Triangle all season long. That guy made it look like he was hitting a chip shot from a high school stadium.
Oh, yeah, it looked very, very easy. Very easy. By the way, I'm being told that clip of Jerry Stiller is from King of Queens. Well, would have been better if it was from Seinfeld. He looks the same.
No, that's not right.
I don't know. Just what I'm saying. That's what they're saying. The 2022 World Cup, Gibbe, is November the 21st through December the 18th. So you'll be in a hotel or preparing for Browns games during those weekend matches this year.
It's in Qatar, and they have to do it in their, quote, winter period, which takes it out of the summer, which takes me out of contention and makes me sad because I care about soccer every 4 years.
There you go. There you go. People, sad for you, Gibbe.
It is sad. Old Angle, got some great bars. Lakewood, what is the place in Lakewood?
Howard Snyder said, yeah, Mullens drove us down, gave us the lead. That's right, with 3 minutes left. And then that was it.
I don't know how I forgot that. Shame on me. Great place to watch games.
You're back, though. Don't you worry about it. Paul Brown is excited about the U.S. and England. So they draw these out of a I'm watching this. It's still going on right now. But they draw it out of basically a bowl, kind of like a lottery system. And so England was the first one in that group, and then it ended up with the USA going into that group as well in Group B, and that's what we know so far. I'm sure more teams will be announced as we are on the air if it hasn't happened already to round out the grip. Here we go. Here's the Del Boca Vista clip from Seinfeld. Thank you very much, sir. We'll retweet that for all the people out there. Listen, Jerry Stiller, to me, there are two roles that Jerry Stiller will be synonymous with for me personally. I wasn't a King of Queens guy. I don't know if you were. Did you watch King of Queens?
No, not
I can't say that I did. I know a lot of people liked it. I'm sure it was a wonderful show. Seinfeld, obviously, as Frank. And then in what I think is one of the greatest supporting actor roles, perhaps in cinematic history. And I'm not prone to hyperbole. You guys know this already about me. I keep it very tight. As Maury Ballstein, Balls Models in Zoolander. He is unbelievable. There are things in that when you realize that some of the lines he's saying are actually to his daughter-in-law, who's married to his son, Ben Stiller. Just incredible. Just incredible. That's one of the Zoolander's a movie I know at least maybe in my peak of my Zoolander fandom, which would be going back a little while, granted, probably 20 years from now, or 20 years back from now, like right after college for me. I mean, that was one of those that I had shot for shot. I had scene for scene. I had total dialogue, complete command.
What was the one yesterday? I was listening to Fontana and Danny Cunningham later in the day on 850. 1995 yesterday, Tommy Boy came up.
Wow.
Want to feel old?
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff that came out in the mid to late 90s that for us would be that shouldn't feel like that long ago. And then you're like, oh, wait, that's 25, 30 years ago?
Yeah.
Almost. We're nearing 30. Oh, yeah.
Not great.
By the way, shout out to Connor.
With a K?
Connor with a K. The Dog Fanatic says, absolutely loving the new thumbnails for Cleveland Browns Daily on the YouTube. Great addition. Love that. I love that kind of feedback. That's right. They are fire. Now we had to do a little.
He's off today.
We had to do a little negotiating.
I don't know if he's listening.
We had to do a little negotiating to get a photo. I'm just to say how high maintenance I am. To get a photo that I was happy with, because the other one, like the lighting was there, my hair was short, I looked bald. It didn't. It just looked. It looked.
Well,
it wasn't great.
Have you looked at your hair recently?
It's white.
Okay.
But it's there.
All right.
You want to come on camera and sit next to me, and we'll make a poll?
Oh,
who has more hair on their head right now?
I can't win that.
No.
But I think you might be in a little bit of denial.
About what?
I think the front part of it's.
I'm touching hair right
There's
now.
not a lot to work with there, buddy.
Oh my goodness gracious me! This is outrage.
Just telling you, like, yeah, you're good. You're good on the back end.
Tons right here.
Yeah, you're good right there.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the front might be receding a little bit.
It's over here. This has been a steady move on the sides, but right here's the same exact hairline it's always been.
Okay.
I was never a person who had that like front straight across.
Straight across.
Never had that ever at any point in my life. This here was not as. It was maybe more here, instead of here, but it was never that. I mean, come on, Gibbe.
I like giving you the business.
Of course you do. That's one of my mom's favorite things about you, the official Nana show. Nana last night, I hate to say this on the air, rough night on the euchre table.
On the what?
Euchre. We were playing euchre. Me and Nana against the kids. We had it won. You're familiar with euchre, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so
been in many a euchre.
So we're in the barn. We're in the barn. It was 9-7 at the time. We're in the barn. Goes around, everybody passes, so now everybody can call if they want. My daughter Arden, she was first, she passed. Nana was opposite me, sitting on, she had the Jack of Hearts, the King of Hearts, and the 9 of Hearts. Could have called Hearts.
Should have called Hearts.
Duh. Passes, pass, washed out hand. I had literally nothing. Like, I'm aggressive. I know that you must call it to win that game. Like, end of story. She passes on that. She throws it in. I'm like, oh my! I go, if we lose this game, now you've blown it, baby.
She was your partner?
Yeah. And I was like, are you kidding me? And the kids are loving it. And Bryce is like, oh, and man, that's an automatic. Like, total automatic, especially under the circumstances, because all we needed was to get 3 out of 5. You got 1 guaranteed, and she only had 2 suits. Her other 2 offsuits were in 1 suit, so that you're going to walk the 9 at some point. You're going to win the Jack, and then we just need to find something else somewhere. Next hand goes to Arden. Picks it up. Lone Wolf. Hits it. We lose 11-9.
Is your mother banned from the house for the weekend?
Let's just say she's on the night. She just texted me. I am so ashamed. You don't have to be ashamed, Mom. You don't have to be ashamed. It's okay. We're going to come back from this. We've had triumphs in the past. She lots of times confuses, even in the middle of the game, she'll declare that she's finally gotten euchre. She'll still confuse it with Pedro at times, and then that just causes all kinds of chaos. But she's getting better. Her trend is up. That was one of those. It was like when it happened, it was one of those moments like we were at a baseball game and like we'll call it the heyday of McGuire, and he hits a foul ball to your third baseman and he boots it. Where's the next pitch going?
Gone.
Goodbye. Automatic. And it was like that. I was like, And then she goes lone wolf the very next hand. Game over. I mean, it was just, that's
strong move by your kid.
They're the
smell blood in the water.
Yes, the great thing is Miss K pronounces the word wolf woof, so we call it woofing now. So Arden's like, I'm woofing. And so she did it. She pulled it off. But we're only down one. We do all of our euchre tournaments are best of 7. So we rotate through me and Miss K against Arden and Bryce, or me and Bryce, the whole thing. And then Nana gets worked in as well. But the only team that is undefeated, and Bryce and I are, I think, like at this point, like 9-0 in 7-game series, me and Bryce. He's aggressive as heck.
Just like you.
Yeah, and so we just, and then you can control the cards. Now, sometimes in euchre, it doesn't matter. You can be as aggressive, you just don't have the cards. So we'll have games where we lose because we get euchred like 4 times. But we get it all out at once, and then it's able to.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, that's how we get it done. By the way, appreciate all the support pouring in for my hairline from everybody. Thank you. So take some of that, Gibby.
The 5 people.
Hey, as many people as it takes. Let's go. They're all getting it. Uh-oh, now this guy's on your side. Not going to lie, you're getting thin up top. Come on, DB Cooper. Outrageous. G. Greens has a great question. Why does Gibby feel the need to verbally assault Nathan Zegura every time Beau Bishop is gone? It's a great question. I don't know.
I do it when Beau Bishop is here.
I think you do. You attack me
I
all
really
the time.
don't discriminate on that.
Oh, you attack me all the time. All right, the World Cup draw is complete for the USA. It is England, Iran, the U.S., and then there's one that says EUR, which would be it's the European playoff team. We'll get into that group as well. Oh, and then Group F, my Croatians, along with Canada, Belarus. Man, this is good. It's looking like some good stuff. Group E's got
you guys go to
Germany,
the finals?
Japan, Spain,
Did
Croatia.
You guys go to the finals of the last one?
They sure did. I don't know if it was the last one. They lost to France in the finals. May have been 4 years ago.
Yeah. I think it was.
Yeah, I think you're right. I was driving back from Michigan somewhere when we were listening to that one. No doubt. All right. So we are off and running. Guess what we've got coming up for you? And the next one, some exciting uniform news. Oh. Does it involve the Browns? Not directly, but we can theorize, we can talk, we can speculate. We'll take a look at some of our opponents, what they've done in free agency, the Chargers, the Washington Commanders, and the Houston Texans. And we're pretty familiar with some of the big moves out of Houston, obviously. At 2 o'clock, Jeff Zrebeck, the Ravens reporter and analyst for The Athletic. We'll talk about the Ravens, what the month they've had to this point. We'll talk a little about Bobby Wagner, the Lamar Jackson contract issue that is out there as well. 2:15, a little Wrestlemania fun. My personal top 5 Wrestlemania moments. I'd like some of yours as well, Gibby. And then at 2:30, our exclusive one-on-one with Demetric Felton, who's participating in the USO Tour. So it's all coming your way here. Don't go anywhere. Off and running on a Friday. Cleveland Browns Daily. There's lots of bad advice out there about gambling, from secret methods to picking lottery numbers to betting big when you're on a roll. These myths can lose you money and get you in a lot of trouble. So before you wager, find out what's real and what isn't at keepitfunohio.com. Gibby, I'm going to try to speak my hairline back into existence after you've attacked me. But one thing we have been able to speak into existence, because I believe we mentioned it a couple days before it was mentioned in the real world, which was that Eagles owner Jeffrey Lurie announced at the league's annual meetings on Tuesday that they are bringing back the Kelly Green uniforms as an alternate combination in 2023. And why are we seeing all this stuff in 2023? That's when they are going to be able to have multiple helmets and multiple helmet colors throughout a season, which brings a lot of different throwback possibilities into the mix for various teams. So my question for you, Gibby, is what would be what are your top 5 unis and helmet combos that you want to see brought back? And I have 5 as well, and we can go through. We could go 5 to 1. From a Brown standpoint, there's only one thing I want to see.
What was that? I'm sorry. I was hacking up a lung.
I said from a Brown standpoint, there's only one thing that we haven't seen that I would like to see.
And that is?
I'd like to see those sweet 75th anniversaries that we have with the white, old school white lid. So white helmet, and then those 75th anniversary throwbacks in all white. I feel like that would be electric. Oh. That's me. That's what I want to see. I'd love to see that. So that's my Browns one. So we got 5, the 5 that you want to see brought back, and hit me up on Twitter with any of the ones that you guys want to see as well, because I think that will be that certainly will be fun to go through, because there are so many great ones. So many great ones. So
I mean, obviously, the creamsicles are already coming back. So
all right, well, that's number 1. Don't spoil it.
All right. I didn't know if we were counting the stuff that we already knew was coming back.
That's just the one that I'm the most excited. The one that I'm the most excited to see.
Sorry, I just ruined the whole segment.
You did. That's okay. All right, we'll start with number 5. Or we can just start at number 1. It feels a little bit silly to go back, but they're all great. So I'm fine starting 1. So number 1 for me would be the Tampa Bay creamsicles.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that.
All right.
Hands down. I mean, that.
What do you have as number 2?
What's the chance that we play them in prime time and they wear the creamsicles?
Is that this year that they're bringing it? Because isn't the helmet rule 2023? Or is it this year? Because if it's this year, oh, baby, let's do it.
Hold on.
By the way, Thanksgiving weekend, don't make many plans right now. Fox's Thanksgiving weekend lines up as the Cowboys on Thanksgiving, USA, England, and Michigan, Ohio State. That's not bad for Fox.
Who's actually going to call any of those?
You're focusing on all the wrong details.
The 2023 season, a year later than originally planned.
Right.
Sad. That's okay. So we're rooting for the bye week that weekend. Do we want to root for Thursday night football on Thanksgiving and then have the weekend
you mean
off?
on Thanksgiving? I don't know that we do want to root for that. I don't know about that. It's just, what do you mean? They'll take Sunday. We'll be fine. We'll be great. We're safe. We're safe. We're safe.
I don't know. That could be a record amount of alcohol consumption for this city.
Gibby, listen to you.
Now, I'm not talking just for me. Like day before Thanksgiving.
Yes.
You know, Thanksgiving, you're always tipping a few.
Sure.
And then you've got, I mean, Ohio State, Michigan's always a big day.
Yep.
You throw in a World Cup match against England.
Oh, that's going to be wild.
And a potential Browns home game on that Sunday, or even a road game. Doesn't matter. I feel like by Sunday, people might be tapped out. I don't know who we need to talk to about that, but maybe we need to adjust some things.
I think we'll get. I think it's gonna be okay. We'll see. Let's see. Let's see how that comes out. It's potential. That could be the bye week, right? You could. Somebody will have a bye that week. All right, back to these uniforms, Gibby.
What do you got for number 2?
I want the Titans to be full on Houston Oiler.
God, we have the same thing.
That's your number 2?
Yes.
All right, we did not.
The old school Houston Oilers from the 80s.
Yes,
with
the
oil,
oil rig,
yes.
everything. I want it all.
Powder blue.
They wore when they had their white helmets, they wore the jerseys, because I have a Chris Johnson jersey like that. The year that they did that, when they redid all the AFL teams. But I want the full deal, like the Alonzo Highsmith Oilers, Haywood Jeffries, Warren Moon.
Super Tech Mobile.
Yeah, the Warren Moons.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's number 2 on my list.
Oh, that I love that. I am a huge fan of it. Now, the Tennessee Titans own all that. They've never given it. They have not allowed Houston to have any of it.
Listen, I don't care who wears it. It probably feels
it
better like
Houston.
the Texans should be the ones wearing, because they are in Houston, but I don't care who wears it. I just want to see it.
Yeah. It should be, yes, agreed. What am I looking at here for number 3? So I've got an interesting one for number 3.
Yep.
Like the Dan Marino early on Miami Dolphins unis.
I have that as number 5. You're darn right. So much better than what they're currently wearing.
The aqua blue
Absolutely.
face mask.
Yes, bring it back. Yes. The turquoise, like it's a hardcore turquoise.
I had that down. It's a fantastic look. And again, like some of these teams in their current unis, not so great. If they went back to the originals, be a serious upgrade.
Oh, yeah. And I'll tell you this, there is a significant push for that right now in Miami. They want that bad. Yeah, bring them back. Or isn't there an orange outline on the numbers? Yeah, they were great.
Yeah,
that was number 5 for me. Number 3 for me, and I feel like we've seen Brady in these. I don't know how they did it, though. We've seen Brady and Pat the Patriot. I know we've seen him in the jersey, but we've seen him in the white helmet too, right?
I don't know. That was a candidate for mine, but it didn't make my top 5. Hiking Pat.
I want that one. I want Pat the Patriot back. I also have my number 3 is the old, and I know it's tough in Cleveland, but they are great uniforms. The logo is amazing. The blue of the helmet's great. The orange of the jersey. Those old Denver Broncos are great.
I refuse.
I figured you would. That's why I said it.
Yep, you can put that in. But
all right, so what else do you have?
So I had the old Bears all-white classic look with the white C on the side of the helmet.
Oh, baby. Have they done that?
Gale Sayers, Dick Butkus made famous.
Oh, yeah. Have they worn those?
I don't think so.
I don't think they have either. I don't see any modern pictures of them.
You know, with just
this
blue
says they
and
did
orange stripes on the sleeves.
So the Bears will sport a new old look when they host the New York Giants on Soldier Field, wearing the 1960s era's helmets with a white C and a gray face mask.
Oh.
So they did do this in
2000. Gray face mask.
2019 they did it. November of 2019. All right, I'll give you another one. This is more of an honorable mention, but one I'd love to see. Like bring back the original dark purple Vikings. Like the dark purple Randy Moss. Even before that, even go back to like the purple People Eaters. That dark purple with the helmet, the uniform, all of it, electric.
I am also a fan of the Giants unis and helmets from the 80s with the Giants underlined on the helmet.
Of course, same. The Phil Simms, I have those. The Phil Simms, Mark Bavaros.
Yeah, the red outline and the white numbers.
And those weren't ones that I loved as a kid because there was some bad memories associated when they beat up Beau's favorite guy, Joe Montana.
Kill Joe Montana.
Yeah, literally. Tried to do it. All right, I have two from the Falcons. The Jeff Georges, which are the black hat, the black jersey. You could also call them the Deion Sanders if you want. The silver pants with the black stripe down the side with, I think, like a white outline on that. Those are just stunning. You go look up like the 1994 Falcons. That black uniform is just gorgeous. And then I'd even go back to the Steve Bartkowski days prior to that, or Billy White Shoes Johnson, the Gerald Riggs, the red helmet, red jersey Falcons, where they wore red helmet, red jersey with the black Falcon on the logo. Those are awesome.
Warwick Dunn wear that? Was that?
That's older, way older.
Okay.
Way older.
I'm looking to see here. There were a couple others.
Now, Matt Ryan's worn the red helmet once with a black uniform, but I'm talking the red helmet with the red uniform, the gray pant. That is just an unbelievable look for them. That was 1978 to 1989.
I'm looking at yep.
So they wore them last year. So they must have been able to do some helmet stuff last year.
A little bit. Look, maybe some slight tweaks if their uniforms were maybe up for the old Nike change.
If they changed, yeah. But you weren't. But this red with the gray face mask or the white face mask that they wore was just incredible. But with the red jersey, that's what they need. They just haven't worn those in so long. Yeah, I like the ones. So my Falcons ones, we're talking, this red on red. And then they got into the Jeff George, the 1990 year when they changed it to that black over the gray. Those are just an electric factory. Yeah, this 1994 ones are just incredible. Apparently in 94 they had a red on a red. So Jeff George must have worn that. We'll have to look that up. But they hadn't had the red helmet until it was brought back. Looks like last year for a one-off because there's a picture of Matt Ryan in it.
Really?
But this is the stuff they need to do. I even wouldn't mind an old. We haven't seen the Chargers pretty much do theirs. That's why theirs are so great. I mean, I know it's slightly a variation, but they're pretty great.
Bless you.
Some people are calling for Kevin Murray wants the Chargers like the LT era, the dark blue Charger with the lightning bolt on the helmet, the Matt Wilhelms. I like those. I wouldn't
like
mind
the old school, the Chiefs old school unis.
Ooh, an old school Chiefs I would like.
Yeah.
And I would also.
Like a Christian Okoye.
Oh, the Nigerian Nightmare. I would also like very much I wouldn't mind seeing ours just one time, and people might go nuts about it. Maybe just like we did one game that we called like a brown out. If we wore like a brown lid with our Color Rush uniforms, just like a straight brown lid.
Yeah.
I don't know what it looked like. It's like Bowling Greenish, right? Don't you get Bowling Green have a brown lid? What color face?
It's actually where the Browns got their colors from. Paul Brown, because they used to train at Bowling Green.
And there you go.
Brown and orange, which my alma mater these days is more black and orange than they are brown.
What color do they go on their face? Like when they had a brown helmet, what color was the face mask?
I think when I was there, it was a white one.
Brown, white. If we did our Color Rush, I'd have to see. I don't know what an orange face mask would look like because we would just be nothing but brown orange, but it might have to be brown with brown just to keep it dark. But that's one I'd like. I also was a big fan of the classic Rams, the Eric Dickerson Rams. Like that would be a good look for them to wear.
Did they bring that back? I couldn't remember.
They have one that's like similar, but they didn't do they did the color of the helmet, but they couldn't change, or they didn't change the color of the helmet, but they changed the decal.
Gotcha.
They need the classic Rams jerseys. Yeah. The bottom line is there are just so many good jerseys in the NFL. But
I like the Kelly Green coming back for
yeah.
I mean, the Randall.
I wouldn't mind the Jets even doing a classic Jets where it says the Jets on the side, like the Kenny O'Brien, that green.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good one. And then the Joe Namath. I always thought those Jets, even like the Chad Pennington era when he was there with the white helmet, I always thought those were nice-looking unis as well. There's just a lot of good ones. That's what's going to be fun about this. And everybody loves jerseys. Everybody loves collecting helmets. I mean, it's going to be fun. I just think there's going to be so much cool stuff that people are going to be able to get. It's going to be great to see how this ultimately, what they do, how they do it, what teams come up with, when they choose to wear them. Like, what about the Bengals? Were there? Remember the old Bengals that said Bengals on them?
Yeah.
It'd just be cool to do. It's just like when you play Madden. They've got every uniform.
Why can't you?
Why
can't
not?
you just do what you want to do?
Do what you want to do. It'll be funny to see if there was a situation where you could do whatever you want to do. Like how many teams would be like have a jersey era that they would get rid of. Oh, Jags, go back to the Mark Brunells. Like that's a home run. The Mark Brunell, Fred Taylor's, the good turquoise with the black. Yeah, Keenan McCardle, the black lids. Those were great. And
Those nice.
on the helmet wasn't the Jaguar the running Jaguar? Yeah.
That's very nice.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic stuff. All right, so that's some of the things we have to look forward to. I'm excited about this all coming back, and I think the Eagles and the Kelly Green, boy, that's going to look fantastic. All right, when we come back, we're going to take a look at some of our opponents and what they've done in free agency. The Chargers, these are kind of the odd matchups where you play your same seed finish in the AFC West and the NFC East, and then you got a bonus and with the AFC South as well. The bonus game, that 17th game this year, is the Commanders. Last year, it was the Arizona Cardinals. This one will be in Washington. We'll take a look at those three teams. We've got a new quarterback in Washington. We've got a quarterback change, as it were, in Houston, and then the Chargers loading up to make a Super Bowl run. OBM Ohio Business Machines, preferred copier provider of the Cleveland Browns, who have all the X's and O's for your office. Call 216-485-2000 or visit ohiobusinessmachines.com today. All right, look at some of our other opponents, what they've done in free agency. We've already done a couple of divisions for you. We did the NFC South. We did the AFC East. We have remaining these three kind of oddballs, one from the NFC East, one from the AFC West, and one from the AFC South. Those are the AFC South ones are the matchups, and then based on where you finish in your division, the two divisions, you don't play the entire division. You play where the team that finished in the same place as you, and then you play one team from the NFC. And this year, the AFC North is matched up with the NFC East. Last year, it was matched up with the NFC West. We played Arizona at home. This year, we played the Washington Commanders on the road. So let's take a look at these teams, what they have done so far in free agency, and we will start with the Los Angeles Chargers. And it's not just free agency, right? It's free agency, it's trades, it's all of that. And when you think about this football team, this is a team with Justin Herbert on his rookie deal that said, we are absolutely in win-now mode. They are going for it. What did they do? Some huge moves. Huge. Move one, you acquire Khalil Mack in a trade with the Chicago Bears in exchange for a 2022 second-round pick and a sixth-rounder in 2023. Now you've got a premier pass rusher. Now your duo is Khalil Mack on one side, Joey Bosa on the other. Elite. You then sign J.C. Jackson, who leads the NFL in interceptions forever, to a 5-year, $82.5 million deal with $40 million guaranteed. One of the arguably top cornerbacks in the league. So he joins that defense along with Khalil Mack. They also signed Sebastian Joseph Day, one of the best interior defensive linemen, 3-year, $24 million deal with $15 million fully guaranteed. They signed a long snapper, Josh Harris, 4-year, $5.6. They re-signed their kicker, Dustin Hopkins. They signed Austin Johnson, as well as re-signed Christian Covington, a defensive tackle. The other big move was they brought in Gerald Everett, tight end, 2-year, $12 million deal with a max value of $13.5. So he'll replace Jared Cook in this offense. They re-signed, this was the big one, Mike Williams, 3-year, $60 million deal, $40 million fully guaranteed. So Williams, Mack, J.C. Jackson, Sebastian Joseph Day, 4 monster pieces, 1 retained, 3 new on the defense. Joseph Day, Khalil Mack, J.C. Jackson. They re-signed Chase Daniels to back up Justin Herbert. This is a team that is in, I think, a great position. And Sebastian Joseph Day was a big part of what the Rams did on defense. You got Mack, as I mentioned. Gerald Everett was with the Seahawks last year, and J.C. Jackson with the Patriots. This is a team that they're trying to win a Super Bowl right now in a loaded AFC West. Tough game. It was a shootout last time. It will be a tough, tough game again this time.
Yeah, hopefully the refs won't screw us.
That's right. You said it, man.
Yep.
All right. The Washington Commanders. And by the way, for the Chargers, we talked about, who they brought in. Let's take a look at real quickly who departed this team, because you think about the quality of the additions that we just talked about. The biggest losses from this team, guys who have signed: Justin Jones, Kyler Fackrell, Uchenna Nwosu, who was the starter opposite of Bosa. I mean, you replace him with Khalil Mack, and then Kaiser White, who's a good off-ball linebacker. But Chris Harris, no longer in his prime. Brian Bulaga, no longer in his prime.
They
Jared
didn't
Cook,
lose a whole lot.
Andre Roberts, no, they did not lose a whole lot. Certainly not in terms of principal contributors. All right, let's take a look now at the Commanders. They get at quarterback Carson Wentz, acquired in a trade with the Indianapolis Colts, along with a 2022 7th-round pick in exchange for a 2022 third-rounder and a 2023 third-rounder, which can convert to a second based on his snap totals. They'll also swap 2022 second-round picks. So Wentz is in to be their quarterback. This is a team that was just on the defensive end, at the defensive line. They were ravaged by injuries a year ago. They are healthy now. They re-signed J.D. McKissick, who's been a valuable pass-catching running back for them, 2-year, $7 million deal. He was going to Buffalo, changed his mind, comes back. A lot of re-signings, basically. Cam Sims, Cornelius Lucas, Tyler Lawson. They bring in Cornelius Lucas, a tackle. They re-signed him on an $8.2 million deal, and they signed Andrew Norwell, who was at one time a very highly paid guard of the Panthers, signed with the Commanders as well as F.A. Obata, a defensive end, and they re-signed Bobby McCain, a corner, 2 years, $11 million. So nothing major there. The big news for them is bringing in, of course, Carson Wentz. Now, on the other side, they lost some pieces. Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's gone. Fitzmagic. Adam Humphries, wide receiver, former Clemson guy. He is a free agent as well, kind of a slot receiver, has been with Tennessee and then now with Washington. Rick Seals-Jones, former Brown, who's already signed with the Giants. Guard Brandon Scherf, big loss there, signs with the Jags. Tight offensive lineman Eric Flowers. Matthew Ioannidis, a very good rotational defensive tackle, signed with the Panthers. Tim Settle signed with the Bills. And then Landon Collins, the safety, is still out there. John Bostic, Darrell Roberts, DeShazor. Landon Collins, remember how good he was for the Giants? And he's just, it feels like just falling off a map.
Yep. It doesn't make any sense. Like, that guy, when he was traded, like,
it was a huge deal.
It was a big deal.
Yeah. I mean, he's only been in the league 4 years with the Giants, 3 years with the Commanders. Interesting. Big name, former first-round pick.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, hasn't necessarily worked out for him the way that he wanted. And then for the Browns, on the other side, their final opponent that we'll talk about, the Houston Texans. And, of course, we are very familiar with the Houston Texans. Their biggest loss, obviously, this season so far would be Deshaun Watson, traded to the Browns. Davis Mills, they're looking to run him back. Tyrod Taylor, their other quarterback, he leaves for the Giants. David Johnson, a free agent. Danny Amendola, a free agent. Tackle Marcus Cannon, a free agent. And then defensive end Jacob Martin goes to the Jets. Corner Terrence Mitchell, Money Mitch, to the Pats. Safety Justin Reed goes to the Chiefs. So who did they bring in, though? Key additions for Houston. Again, nothing big here at all. Nothing big. They did a lot of re-signing, as we've seen many teams do. They re-signed Chris Conley, Malik Collins, Christian Kirksey, Cleveland Browns, Desmond King, Terrence Brooks, Justin Britt, Camus Grugier-Hill, the linebacker. But in terms of key additions, Pharaoh Brown saying there as well. They're free agents. They signed quarterback Kyle Allen, who had been with the Washington Commanders. They signed Andy Janovich, former fullback of our Cleveland Browns. Deshaun Hamilton, who hasn't really lived up to any of his hype so far in the NFL. Not a monster. Nothing monstrous was really done anywhere. Malik Collins, 2 years, $17 million. The defensive tackle, that's a re-sign. That's probably the biggest money that they gave out. A.J. Cann, the guard, 2 years, $10.5 million. I mean, they didn't make any big signings at all. Good for Kirko, though, 2 years, $10 million with $4 million guaranteed. Not a good roster. I mean, it's just not a good roster.
Why they're 32nd in every power poll that comes out.
Yeah, every single one. And you have to imagine that, that's a team that could divest of guys like Brandon Cooks, as somebody who could still be available, especially as we get a little bit closer now to the draft and seeing how that all plays out. So that's a look at them. We'll talk the Baltimore Ravens when we return here on Cleveland Browns Daily, as Jeff Zrebeck, the Ravens reporter and analyst for The Athletic, stops by here on Cleveland Browns Daily. After a few weeks away, the best podcast available is back this week. Andrew Gribble goes one-on-one with new Browns quarterback Jacoby Brissett. We teased this in the first hour. Check out the best podcast available wherever you get your podcasts by watching it at youtube.com/Browns or by hitting up clevelandbrowns.com. To the hotline we go, kicking off hour number 2 of Cleveland Browns Daily here on this Friday. Jeff Zrebeck, the Ravens reporter and analyst for The Athletic, joining us. And Jeff, first of all, how are you, man? What a wild month in the National Football League March was.
Yeah, no, I'm good, guys. I appreciate you having me, and it's weird that the draft, usually the time before the draft sort of is a slog, it just takes forever. You get sick of reading mock drafts every day and different versions of those, but it's pretty remarkable. We're almost under 4 weeks now, the draft, and it feels like it's come real quick this year, which it never usually does.
No, it's been, I think, without precedent. We see the quarterback movement that has happened, so many stars being traded around, and frankly, it feels like the AFC is as loaded as a conference has ever been in NFL history, and the Ravens certainly a team that I think fancies themselves to be right in the mix of that, looking to go to the playoffs, looking to go and get a Super Bowl. What do you make kind of the offseason so far? It feels in a way quiet in the sense that, 4 guys have been brought in, obviously keeping, Patrick Ricard, but Marcus Williams, the headliner there. Some exodus on this roster as well. Some big names that have been associated with the Ravens for a long time on the list of guys that are currently free agents. What do you make of what the plan has been thus far?
Yeah, I think the Ravens on paper have improved. They've just needed a playmaking safety for a long time. They just haven't had that guy to kind of force turnovers and to hold up in coverage. They've kind of been playing with 2 strong safeties for a long time now, and I think that's hurt. I thought Morgan Moses was an underrated deal. They got him for pretty cheap, too.
Yep.
Given all their how badly they struggled at tackle. I mean, he's not an all-pro, but he's a solid, durable performer, and he doesn't miss games, which is huge for them. Michael Pierce is probably an upgrade at this stage over Brandon Williams just because Michael Pierce offers a little more as a pocket pusher inside. But you look at all that, and, I don't think they've lost a ton. This wasn't this wasn't an especially talented and sought-after and coveted Ravens free agent class this year. They lost their center, Bozeman, who's a solid player, but they probably got an internal replacement for him, and Anthony Averett, who played a lot of football for them at corner because Humphrey and Peters were out last year. But you look at all that, I think they've made some interesting moves, but it feels like they've lost ground. I mean, just because what every other team in the AFC has done, So it feels like they've improved and they've done some nice things, but they haven't done enough. The lack of a pass rusher for them is concerning. The cornerback depth is a major issue. So they got a lot of work still to do, but, I give them decent marks for what they've done. But yet in saying that, it feels like they're losing ground, to be quite honest.
Yeah, and something that we haven't seen happen with the Ravens, or at least the perception from Cleveland we haven't seen happen, is that a big free agent comes down to the Ravens and Team X. And it feels like, at least in the past, those people would choose the Ravens. But we've seen that Zadarius Smith initially came to terms with the Ravens, ends up leaving, signs a bigger deal with the Minnesota Vikings. And then just recently it was reported, and certainly judging by the social media reactions of some of the Ravens, that Bobby Wagner was down to the Ravens or the Rams. He chooses the Rams. What happened in those 2 situations? And is that something that is atypical? And if it is atypical, is that a cause for concern?
Well, the Ravens have never been huge free agent spenders.
Correct.
They're big on taking, they kind of take forays on the free agent market, target 1 or 2 guys. And, they've gotten that guy quite often. I think them getting Marcus Williams this year is probably a coup for them. I don't think people expected them to go all in that market. And, the safety market hasn't moved a whole lot this year. It's kind of been disappointing with Tyrann Mathieu still available, too. But I think that was a big signing for him.
Absolutely.
The Wagner move, I mean, look, how can you blame the guy? He has kids, his family's in L.A.
Of course.
He's from L.A. He's joining a reigning Super Bowl champion, which probably has 2 Hall of Fame defensive players alongside him with Donald and Jalen Ramsey's a little early to make that call, but he's on the right track.
Certainly.
And, you're joining, as I said, and you're getting a chance to play Seattle twice a year, a team he obviously isn't thrilled about for how he was let go and learned about it on the internet. So, I didn't like their chances in that one from the jump. I thought they had some ground to make up, and the only way they were going to get him was really if they just blew him out of the water from financially. And if you're the Ravens, when you don't have that much cap space right now and you have a bunch of holes, I would question the wisdom of, paying $12 million a year, how much it was going to take for him to get them for an inside linebacker. Just to me, that didn't seem to be a wise decision. I don't think, you like to get him. They're better with him, but I don't think that was a big miss for them in any stretch, as good as Bobby Wagner is. The Darius Smith one hurts. And it hurts even more because there's really not much available on the pass rush market now. Obviously the Browns with Clowney, and I think the expectation is he re-signs there, and he's obviously a good player. He's been available a lot, and the Ravens really haven't ever been really shown a ton of interest. So I don't know who they're going to get to rush the passer. And, who's more interested in getting paid. So, you can't really complain if you're the Ravens and you don't get these guys if you're not, if you're getting outbid. I mean, Ed Reed and Ray Lewis aren't on this defense anymore. People aren't. I think Ravens are a popular destination. I think people want to play there. I think the culture's good. They're in it. They have an MVP caliber quarterback. But when it comes down to it, people want to get paid. And if you're not, if you're not in the ballpark there, or if you don't have the highest offer in a lot of cases, you're not going to get the guy. And that's pretty much what it came down to Darius Smith. And, I think that's the one blemish right now. You look at the team, and their two top outside linebackers are both Owe and Bowser, both coming off major offseason surgeries. Justin Houston's a free agent. Pernell McPhee's a free agent, will likely retire. Their edge rush depth chart is a problem. And as you guys know, in this division, if you can't get to the passer, you got a major issue on your hands. And that's what the Ravens are going to have to deal with.
Yeah, you're right about that. Talk with Jeff Zrebeck from The Athletic, covers the Ravens. Jeff, you mentioned it, the quarterback, Lamar Jackson, MVP caliber, won the award a couple of years ago. So much is being made about, what's going to happen with his contract situation. Do they sign him to an extension? Was it complicated by the guaranteed money that was given to Deshaun Watson? And we heard comments from the owners' meetings that made it sound like maybe nothing is actually imminent on that front. Put us in kind of what's the latest on that with Lamar Jackson, and how do you see that situation? Put your Ravens GM hat on. What would you be looking to do with the quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, there's no indication that anything really has changed or anything's really happening there. I mean, both Eric DeCosta, the GM, and John Harbaugh, the head coach, have made it clear the ball's in Lamar's court. They're interested in doing a deal. They would like to do it. They've talked to Lamar on occasion, Eric DeCosta, because Lamar doesn't have an agent. So Eric DeCosta is consistently the guy to deal with him and communicating with him, and he checks in with him. But, Lamar Jackson has really shown no interest in engaging in the whole process. He seems to be quite content to wait this out and not really engage in it. And I think everyone still thought, at some point this offseason, he'll come back to Baltimore when the offseason workout program, he'll get in DeCosta's office, and maybe they'll start hammering this out. But, obviously a lot's changed. Aaron Rodgers' deal, Matthew Stafford's deal, Deshaun Watson's deal. Look, I'm going to go off of what the owner said. Owner Steve Bisciotti said this week, and he said straight out, unless Lamar Jackson has a change of heart, this isn't happening this offseason. So I think that's the best way to sum it up. I mean, right now there's just not a whole lot of going on, and it's going to take Lamar to basically say, you know what, it's time to get this done and to start engaging in the process, and then maybe it does. But until then, I think you're looking at him playing the season under his fifth-year option, and then, that would open up the franchise tag into play and everything that entails next offseason.
Is the feeling, though, that this isn't that in some ways it's much ado about nothing to see here? There's no doubt that in 2023 Lamar Jackson will still be the quarterback of the Ravens?
Yeah, I think that's probably accurate, but I'm interested to see what happens with him this year. I mean, last year was tough in every phase. We had at one point probably 6 or 7 weeks through a season. He was probably your league MVP or at least a front runner for it. I mean, he was willing a team that was just decimated with injuries, had no, didn't have any of their running backs, was missing all sorts of guys. He was willing them. Look, they had the top record in the AFC. They were the number 1 seed in the AFC going into December, which was, largely because Lamar put the team on his back. But he went through a stretch there where, he regressed majorly. You guys saw him throw all those picks when Cleveland was in Baltimore, and he had that game in Miami, which he looked like he never seen a blitz before. He missed a ton of practice time with illnesses. Excuse me, guys, I slipped the phone. But with illnesses and then the injury, he missed all those games at the end before he got hurt in Cleveland and then didn't play again. So I don't want to say he has a lot to prove because that seems to tick off a lot of people. The guy was the unanimous MVP of the league in 19. But, I think you want to see where he's at. You want to see if he's moved beyond these injuries, if he's consistently on the practice field, if some of the issues that he had this past year in terms of not holding the ball too long, in terms of, making teams pay for blitzing him, you want to see that they figured this stuff out. And it's not all on Lamar. It's on Greg Roman, their offense as a whole. But, I think their whole offense has something to prove this year. And before I'd say definitively that, it's a no-brainer, they're going to franchise him, and he'll be here, and he'll be their quarterback through 23, that's likely, but I'd still like to see how this year plays out for him. I think there's going to be a lot of questions. There's going to be a lot of attention hovering on Lamar Jackson heading into this year, especially as long as the contract situation still is sort of not taken care of.
I think you're right, talking with Jeff Zrebeck from The Athletic, who covers the Ravens. I mean, look, in the division now you got Joe Burrow, Deshaun Watson now to the Browns. You've got in the conference, Mahomes, Josh Allen, Herbert. It's Russell Wilson now. It is loaded with guys who can flat out throw the football. And it's going to be, you feel like a lot of these AFC games are going to be shootouts that are going to be, incumbent upon your quarterback to be able to go score for score, throw for throw. And while Lamar is as dangerous as they come, and the MVP certainly testifies to that, and at times he's shown the ability to make those throws, that hasn't been kind of the consistent with him, right? That you can just drop back and throw the football. It's his combination, the weapon that he is, that makes him so dangerous as a quarterback.
Yeah, and there's been games where, he's taken the game over and he's done it with his arm, and we've seen it. It's just consistently, doing it on a consistent basis. But, I think we all have to remember, and this is, a conversation I wage often with Ravens fans, that, everyone wants to be the Chiefs. Everyone wants to be, have Justin Herbert as their quarterback. And the Ravens are not built to do that. And they're not trying to be that team with Lamar Jackson. Right. They're still going to go as far as the running game. And, as we talk about their additions earlier this season, their biggest additions are getting J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, their all-pro left tackle, Ronnie Stanley, who basically played one game last year. There's, Nick Boyle, who's, one of the best blocking tight ends in the league. These are the guys. These are the guys they need. This is how they're going to win. This is how they're going to match up. Yep. There's still going to be a run-oriented offense, but there's no doubt, as you said, there's going to be games where you need your quarterback to win the game with your arm. There's going to be games where the run game's not going to be games where the run game's not clicking, or you fall behind and you need to throw the ball, and that's where he's going to ask to do more with his arm. But still, in a general basis, I don't see them changing the way they run their offense. And I think he's shown in the past he's plenty capable. It's just doing it consistently.
How are J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards doing?
All reports are good so far. They're both. Dobbins was in the last preseason game, and Gus Edwards tore up his knee in a practice. I think it was 3 days before the start of the season, 3 or 4. Yeah. So they had the whole season. It was not like an in-season injury where they got hurt in November or December. So we're talking, August or September. So it's been a while, and the reports have been good. But Harbaugh said this past week that they'll probably both start on the PUP list to start the training camp. They're not going to rush them. The hope is just to have them ready for week 1. And so far, so good. But again, it's not just them. It's Stanley. Tyus Bowser tore his Achilles in the last game of the regular season. Their first-round pass rusher, Odafe Owe, had off-season labrum surgery. So they have so many guys now that they're going to be depending on coming back and kind of being healthy. And so I wouldn't expect them to have a normal training camp in that way. I think there'll be a lot of guys that they'll take it easy with that you probably won't see until the second half of training camp.
Yeah, and Jeff Levy with this one, Sashi Brown joining the Ravens, replacing the great Dick Cass at the president position there, somebody we know very well from his time in Cleveland in a multitude of roles, guy that I personally had a great affection for and liked. What's your initial impressions of Sashi and what he's going to bring to the Ravens?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, he had his press conference probably about 10 days ago. And, I got a chance just to say hello to him this week. We still haven't, I think, Dick Cass is still here, still helping him through the transition. And Dick Cass was part of the Washington-based law firm that kind of Sashi got his first job. So their relationship goes way back, and it's a good opportunity for Sashi to come in and learn under Dick Cass for a while. Nobody more respected in the Ravens building than Dick Cass. So I think it's a good fit. The reaction to the hiring was a little negative just because people, look at his record as a personnel guy when he was doing that in Cleveland, but that's not what he's doing here. He's
right.
in charge of all business matters. That's not to say Eric DeCosta or Harbaugh or Ozzie Newsome won't ask him his opinion on stuff, but that's not his role here. His role is to take care of a lot of the business matters and do a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff, and not qualified. I mean, he's an impressive human being.
Yes.
Very intelligent, bright guy with a lot of contacts in a lot of different areas. So I think it'll be a pretty good fit for him, and I think he's coming into a really good situation.
No doubt about it. Jeff, this was great. Thank you so much for the time. Enjoy your weekend, and thanks for being with us here on Cleveland Browns Daily.
Always enjoy it, guys. Have a good rest of the week.
All right, you as well. Jeff Zrebeck, the Ravens reporter and analyst for The Athletic, there with a look at the Browns' division rival, the Baltimore Ravens. When we come back, we've got a few top Wrestlemania moments through my career. If there are any in Gibbe's mind as well, we'll go through those. And then we've got Demetric Felton. And we'll be on to the weekend, kids. Cleveland Browns Daily. Rumpke Waste and Recycling is a family-owned and operated company. Whether you join them as a customer or as an employee, you'll become a part of the family. Visit www.rumpke.com to learn more. All right, WrestleMania this weekend. Definitely Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns. Looking forward to that. AJ Styles against Edge, and The Miz and Logan Paul against the Mysterio. Some of the highlights there of a two-day extravaganza. Again, not huge on the 2 days. That's just me. But Gibbe, you said top 5 WrestleMania moments of my career, which would be of my entire life ski, I suppose. Do you have any big WrestleMania moments, Gibbe?
I was pulling up like a top 10 to like go over with you and see if you would agree or disagree with these.
Okay.
I mean, the biggest moment, the biggest moment for me in all the WrestleManias I've watched was when Undertaker lost for the first time. I mean, I was at a Casey Coulis WrestleMania party.
I was there. They showed me right after that. My reaction when I had my hands on my head.
I mean, it happened, and I was like, I don't want to see the rest of this. I'm done. Like, he's not supposed to lose.
Yeah, but you have a streak like that to eventually put somebody over.
You should end like. He wasn't, if I recall, he wasn't even supposed to come back and wrestle. Like, he was going to be done, and then all of a sudden.
No, that was after a couple after that. But, like, the one where it was him and Lesnar, no, that was a big match. That was a huge match. That was WrestleMania 30 in
that
New
happened,
Orleans.
And, like, the wind was totally taken out of the party. Everybody just sat there like.
People were stunned.
Really just happened?
I was in the crowd, stunned. Absolutely stunned. People were, they could not believe it. No, it was New Orleans. Superdome.
Oh, well. Living your best life.
People were stunned. And then in the main of that event of that one, Daniel Bryan won the title. And, yeah, that great moment with him and doing all the yesing. But, no, that was absolutely bonkers when Brock Lesnar pinned him. I had that. I was trying to go through my personal ones. As a kid, the WrestleMania moment that I remember the most was WrestleMania 5, the Mega Powers Explode, which was Macho Man against Hulk Hogan. That was one that I remember watching live on pay-per-view. I was at my neighbor's house, Roberto Float, and we watched it there. And that was the first one that I remember watching and being like, oh, my God, this is amazing. Because I loved Mach. But Hogan, of course, won. But it was still awesome. That one was great. In terms of ones that I've been to, my favorite WrestleMania moment of all time is Rock versus Hogan at WrestleMania 18. I think it's just the most magical environment. There's a story. Peacock just put out a great new series called WWE Evil, and the first episode is about Hollywood Hulk Hogan, and it is awesome. It goes through briefly like his run, then when he went to WCW and how they had pitched him on turning and he didn't want to do it, and that up until the final hour, basically, he wasn't sure he was going to be the third guy at Bash at the Beach. And then finally he made the decision, like, yeah, I'm in. I'm going to do it and go all the way. And then they were just off to the races, and just how great that whole run was. And then coming back in the Rock Hogan match, they talked about that. I highly recommend the series. Just check that one out. Very, very cool. You mentioned Undertaker losing to Lesnar. I was there for Undertaker HBK 1 and 2. I was in the second row for Undertaker HBK 1, which was at WrestleMania 25 in Houston. I was front row for Undertaker HBK 2, which was the main event in Phoenix in Scottsdale, Arizona. Those are great matches. All the money in the banks. I mean, I was at WrestleMania 22 when Ric Flair was in it. Was nuts. The environment for Triple H versus John Cena at WrestleMania 22 in Chicago was out of control. That was a great one. I was at the first ever Money in the Bank, which was WrestleMania 21. I had Edge win it, and then Edge would go on to cash in on John Cena later on in a big moment there. You had you had Kurt Angle and HBK in a great match. You had Batista against Triple H in the main event, which was a great match, and Batista won and became a star. There's so many. I mean, it's sad like that. I've kind of, I still will go. And my favorite WrestleMania moment ever will still be The Miz beating John Cena with The Rock as a special guest referee in the main event of WrestleMania 27. The other one, and I was not there for it, which makes me sick to my stomach, was Zack Ryder winning the Intercontinental title ladder match at WrestleMania 32 in Dallas, because that's my boy, Matt Cardona. So that one I wish I was there live for, but I did get to see him win the tag titles in New York live. I've seen The Miz win the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania. They're just so mad. Like, it is. It's the showcase of the immortals.
Well, and here's the amazing
2 nights,
thing.
though. I'm out on that. I do not like that at all. I hate it.
The amazing thing is, like, there's no time to even bask in the glow or the glory of any of your wins at WrestleMania, because you are on the road either Monday night or Friday night. Like, I mean, you have Raw Monday, and
Yes.
Friday if I'm correct, is SmackDown on Friday night?
Yeah, but it was always, the WrestleMania one was always taped, so they were there for the whole week. But the thing about it, what's crazy is WrestleMania, and I would say the parties would be some of my WrestleMania moments as well, but we can't get into too much of that. But you would go on WrestleMania. So the West Coast was much better because the show would end at 8 o'clock on the West Coast. You could have a nice party and whatever. But you think about like New Orleans or New York, the party isn't starting until 12, 1, goes to like 3 or 4, and then they got to go and work Raw, the guys that are, the Raw guys. Kofi Kingston winning the title was a great moment. Oh, the Hardy Boys coming back.
Well,
I was
going to go through some of these moments.
All right, give me some. I'll give you a big thumbs up
This is from the Sportster.com, the 10 best WrestleMania matches in history according to CageMatch.net.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Number 10 is Edge McFoley, WrestleMania 22.
Oh, yeah, and there's a great documentary it's called WWE Untold, about that match, which was just unbelievable. I mean, it goes through a flaming table. The crowd was
guy's
hot.
On fire.
That's Mick Foley's big WrestleMania moment. Edge was hot, as hot could be, as the rated R superstar. Lita was great in it. That was speared him through the ropes, through a flaming table for the finish. Unbelievable match.
Number 9 for them, Rock Steve Austin, WrestleMania 17.
Wasn't there for that. Great, of course. And the whole Rock Stone Cold Steve Austin trilogy is great. 15's probably the worst. 17 was the biggest at the time. 19 I like the best because that's Hollywood Rock, and Rock won, and I'm a Rock guy. So, but yeah. Okay, sure, yep.
Number 8 on their list, Razor Ramon, Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 10.
WrestleMania 10 ladder match. Many people say that was the one that kind of took the athleticism of wrestling to the new generation. Absolutely. R.I.P. Scott Hall.
Number 7, Kurt Angle, Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 21.
Referenced by me earlier. Yeah,
yes.
Just a pure, tremendously good wrestling match. Absolutely
there were
pure.
So many good wrestlers at that time.
Oh, my God. Loaded.
Yeah.
Loaded.
Number 6, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 26.
So that's Undertaker HBK 2. I was in the front row for that one. And so that was, that'll be good. And I bet Undertaker HBK 1 will be in the top 5 then, obviously.
Number 5 for them, Owen Hart, Bret Hart, WrestleMania 10. There's a couple that are left off here that are not.
Sure, fine with it. I think, like, are they TLC 2, which I think is WrestleMania 17's got to be on the list, but it's not going to be, I'd imagine, if we're down to 4 at this point.
I like this one. I remember this one. WrestleMania 17, Dudley Boys versus Edge and Christian versus the Hardy Boys.
That's it. That's TLC 2. I just called for it. How about that, Gibby? I'm an encyclopedia. I said that should be on there. There it is.
I totally didn't understand the whole TLC thing till just now. Wasn't smart enough to put 2 and 2 together.
Tables, ladders, and chairs.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep. It just had a brain freeze, and
I like that you read it. You're like, now this is what I'm like. Yeah, that's what I just talked about.
I just talked about that, Gibbs.
All right, good.
Number 3.
All right, hold on. Hold on. Don't say anything. Let me try to guess the 3. So Undertaker HBK 1 is going to be on it. Steamboat and Savage from WrestleMania 3 will be on it. I mean, and then Rock Hogan should be on it, but it might not be. Okay, that would be my final 3.
Well, according to this list, none of those are on it.
What? Savage Steamboat's not on it?
No.
Come on, that's crazy. Everybody says that's like the best.
WrestleMania 20, Triple H versus Benoit versus Shawn Michaels.
Oh, my God. Come on. That was a fine match, but no way. And no. And I was there for it. No. They don't even show that match anymore. It was a very good match, but too much, no.
All right. Number 2, WrestleMania 25, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels.
I just said that. You said none of those are on there. That's what I said. It's Undertaker, HBK 1. Okay.
Number 1, WrestleMania 13, Bret Hart and Stone Cold.
The double turn, great match, but I mean,
I don't know how that's number 1.
No,
like,
Savage
Undertaker
Steamboat
losing is not a top 10.
It was a shocking moment. I don't know if it was a top 10 match. I mean, listen, Bret Hart, Stone Cold there. I think it was a submissions match. He's wearing the proverbial crimson mask. They do the double turn there. Very, very good, no doubt. It's great. But Hogan Rock will suck anybody that was born at anybody that knows Hulk Hogan at all. It just was
generations.
It was unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Wild.
Yeah.
I mean, just completely insane. That match is so fun. No Savage Steamboat?
I know.
Everybody would say that. Eh?
Yeah.
Wild.
No
Still
macho?
holds up to this day. Yeah, you got to have the match on there. All right. There it is. Some of our best moments. Good luck to The Miz and all the great competitors this weekend at WrestleMania. When we come back, Demetric Felton, an exclusive here on the show, talks about his offseason and going to be a part of this USO tour.
850 ESPN Cleveland.
Welcome back to Cleveland Browns Daily. Oh, what a treat indeed. We head out to the Valley of the Sun to be joined by the one and only Demetric Felton. Demetric, it is great to talk to you, man. How you doing?
It's good to hear from you, too. I'm doing well, man.
So you're out in Arizona. Where in Arizona are you?
I'm in Scottsdale right now.
Heaven on earth. You're in heaven on earth.
Yeah, it's really nice out here. I'm enjoying it a lot. This is my first time being able to, kick it out here, so I like it a lot.
It is my favorite place to visit. I do it frequently. In fact, I got married in Scottsdale at the Mountain Shadow Resort right there, so I am a big fan. Paradise Valley. I will make one recommendation for you. Now, you may have already gone there. Do you like tacos?
Yes.
Of course. Who doesn't like tacos? Go to Barrio Queen.
Barrio Queen.
There's one right in Old Town Scottsdale. It's fantastic. Their Al Pastor is off the charts. The Conchinita EP Bill. I once ate, this is true story, after hiking Camelback Mountain, I once ate 13 tacos in one sitting.
Oh, my goodness.
Brought the people out of the back to look at me, and they're like, how'd this skinny guy put down 13 tacos? Well, I love tacos, Demetric. So that's definitely a place for you to check out. You'll love it.
I definitely will.
All right, good. So how's training going? How's this offseason been? And getting to reflect back on your rookie year in the NFL.
This offseason has been pretty good. Had a time to, spend with my family, hang out with them, and then get back to work and make sure that my body is ready for when I head back to Brea. And so it's been really good. And just reflecting back on my rookie year, seeing what I did good, seeing what I did bad, and just trying to make myself better for the upcoming season.
This time you have an opportunity, because I imagine coming into last year, remember you were spending time running back, spending time wide receiver, and maybe that's the plan. You're very versatile. You can do so many things, even in the return game for the Browns as well. But, have you been able to kind of focus more on working on some of that receiving stuff here in the offseason, talking with Chad O'Shea and getting yourself, ready to take maybe the next step in your evolution in this passing game?
Yes, definitely. Getting better as a receiver is something that I really wanted to work on this offseason. And so I've been spending a lot of time on that, just trying to make sure that I'm just at my best for when we get back to training.
What was your favorite moment of your rookie year?
My favorite moment, I gotta say just the way it ended. The way it ended, I was able to score a touchdown, have that great moment with that kid in the stands.
Yes,
that was
of course.
that was something that, that was a great moment, and something that I always think about. So definitely that.
You called your shot. I mean, it's incredible. You called your shot in the National Football League and then came right delivered on it. Yeah, that was a pretty incredible moment. Before we get into something else you're going to do that I think is very incredible, and that is the USO tour that you're going to be a part of in Alaska. I wanted to ask you just about the offseason for the Browns. Obviously, Browns have very much been in the headlines. Deshaun Watson coming to the team, as well as Amari Cooper. Kind of just what have you thought about that? And then do you guys kind of talk and, start to get excited about what's going on?
Yeah, so it's definitely been a roller coaster this offseason. You never know what's going to happen. There's been a lot of talks and everything, and then some decisions have been made. And, I think it's our GM, Andrew Berry, has done a really good job at improving our team in all aspects, taking what we did last year and trying to improve. And so to be able to acquire these guys are a huge step in the right direction for us, and it's going to put us in the best situation to succeed this coming season.
Yeah, it certainly is going to be fun to see that. And I can't wait for April just to get everybody back here and see everybody's facility. It's going to be a lot of fun to see the 2022 Cleveland Browns come together. But you're doing something great on the field, great off the field. This is a huge deal. Being a part of the USO tour to go to Alaska, you're going to be joined by Andrew Beck from the Denver Broncos, Kenny Moore from the Indianapolis Colts as well. Why is this so important to you, and how did you get involved?
This was important to me because, I've been around military my whole life.
Yep.
My dad, he served 22 years in the Navy as a lieutenant commander chaplain. And so, just being around that my whole life, I've gained this appreciation for the military, and being able to give back and help in any sort of way is huge to me. So it was kind of a no-brainer for me, easy decision for me to go out there and do this event.
It sounds like it is going to be so cool and something very, very special to be a part of. And given everything that's going on in the world as we see right now, it feels, even more important to give thanks to the people that allow us, as your father did, to allow us to have the freedoms and the lives that we have. So I'm sure you're very excited about it, and I'm sure your family's very proud that you're taking part of this. So when you think, like, what are you most excited to see about this when you go out there and get to do this? Because it sounds like you guys are actually going to do some pretty cool stuff when you're there, in addition to just going and spreading the goodwill and the thanks to the servicemen and women of our country.
Yeah, they have a good amount of events for us to participate in while we're there, so I'm super excited for that. I'm super excited to see the area. Never thought I would be going to Alaska, but being able to do that is awesome. And so I'm just going to take it all in, go there, and just have the best time.
Did you ever talk about? I'm sure you and Coach Prefer, you guys have that a naval bond there. Was that something you guys talked about?
Yes, sir. We definitely talked about that. Probably the first time me and him spoke. That was one way we connected, and so that was really cool too. And he was able to be my dad, and they were able to talk about it as well. So it was just awesome. Really awesome.
How proud is your dad that you're doing this?
Oh, he's really proud. He agreed. That would be a great way to give back. And so as soon as I told him about it, like he knew that I was gonna go, and that it's a good way for me to give back to the military. So it's been really well.
Not bad for the off season. A little Scottsdale, a little Arizona, and then a little Alaska, doing some good work. And obviously, I know you're putting in work down there in Arizona to get ready for this season. So now that you've had a year in the NFL, how different is an NFL season than a college season? And how do you feel coming out of an NFL season now relative to college? And in college, though, you were touching the ball, 20 plus times a game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there's a huge difference. Just in the length alone of the season, it's totally different about what your body goes through. And so just learning that, learn how you have to extend just being at your best at all times. It was a great learning season for me, and I'm ready to just take advantage of everything that I learned and use that to put my best foot forward next season.
And we're all certainly excited to see that. Demetric, before I let you go, what's one thing you just want to say to the fans, the great fans of the Cleveland Browns?
I just want to say thank you guys so much for continuing to support us, and that we're all excited to get back to Brea to start working and to win games next year.
Can't wait to see it. Enjoy yourself in Arizona. Make sure you hit up Barrio Queen. Have a great, great trip, and I'm sure it's such a meaningful, special trip to Alaska, and we'll see you back here before you know it, Demetric. Thanks so much for the time.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Take care.
We'll be back with more Cleveland Browns Daily right after this.
All right, we're in the break. Yes, sir. Back in 30.
Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland.
You guys ready?
Yep.
Got a little less than 2 minutes. You are up.
All right, wrapping it up here on this Friday. Everybody get ready for a glorious weekend here. And Gibbe, I mean, you're talking about WrestleMania 2 nights. You're talking about the Final Four on Saturday. I'm just going to ask you because I know you know the answer. Give me, what are the tip times on Saturday, Gibbe?
I want to say it was like 6:40 or 6:20 and 8:57.
What?
Duke doesn't tip till 9 o'clock. Duke, Carolina's not till 9 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah, 6:09, Villanova, Kansas.
Yeah.
I still have Villanova alive, and then North Carolina, Duke. 8 why? It's a Saturday.
I know. It's in New Orleans.
Why don't we do one at, I don't know, 4 and the other one at
7?
7?
Be nice.
What are we doing? There's no reason for that game
It's
to
all
tip
about
off
the
at
West
9.
Coast, Nathan.
But
it's all
it's
about
not.
the West Coast.
Listen, I respect that Beau grew up out there, but it just doesn't mean that doesn't seem like a reasonable thing to be doing here. Doesn't seem reasonable to me. That's way too late. I was hoping for a 4 and 7. 4 and 7 would have been a delight. Well, you got that. You got WrestleMania. It's going to be a big weekend. Everybody stay safe out there. Enjoy yourselves. If you're able to put the balls in the air, may they go straight. I don't know, though. I think we're overestimating how nice the weather's going to be tomorrow. But I'm down to try it. I'm down to try it. All right, the next level is next for Gibbe. I'm Nathan Zegura. Thanks to Jeff Zrebeck for joining us, as well as Demetric Felton. Thanks for listening to Cleveland Browns Daily. The next level coming your way.